Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego, and it's an early start. It is 5:54 p.m. Central Time, United States Central Time, here in the Panhandle of Florida. Now, I'm not in Miami. I'm in the Panhandle of Florida, so I'm in Central Time. If I was in Miami or in Tallahassee, then I would be in Eastern Time. But I'm in the Panhandle, close to Pensacola, so I'm in Central Time, which is 6 p.m. So I don't know what time it is in California. It's probably early, but I know it's going to be 1 hour ahead in Miami. This is your YouTube channel. This is your green card, your K1 visa channel. It's all for you. All this information, all this free time I put out here, I do it for you so you can get your green card and your K1 visa without stressing too much, without worrying too much, without spending too much money. I mean, you got to pay the consular fee, you got to pay the visa fees, you got to pay the fee for the K1 visa, you got to pay for the green card application. It's not cheap. And you got to qualify for the benefit. And Christopher Reese is first up the bat. Good evening, Diego. Christopher, what is going on? Now, Christopher is a member of this channel, and he has my email, and he texted me just a few minutes ago to check in to see if I was going to do a live stream, and here we are. But Christopher can contact me whenever he wants because he's got my phone number. And Francois is up to bat. Good evening, Diego and Karina. Now, Francois, good evening. Karina is in her English class. Now, in June, she's going to English class 4 times a night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's intense immersion into English. And this morning when we woke up, she was asking me things in English. So apparently it's working. So I'm very proud of her, and she's doing a great job. Chris and Emil, yes, I'm back. Congratulations to your teamwork with Destroy Atomic Bombs. Well, President Trump does not want to go to war with Iran, okay? President Trump and the American people have no problem with Iranian people. It's the Iranian government that's the problem. The Iranian government, they're the problem, not the people. So, President Trump doesn't want to go to war with anybody. He wants to trade and make money for America, which I like that. I like to see America making money for once instead of being ripped off by all these other countries around the world. Christopher Reese getting ready for her son's medical and her medical also on Thursday and Friday. Well, guess what? We have the MAGA pixie dust for your family. Okay. Now, this is the K1 Visa Green Card Super Lucky 2025 MAGA pixie dust. Now, in 2024, it was blue. In 2025, it's red. Christopher, hello, Francois, hello, Chris, and Chris and Emil made an agreement today, ceasefire. Well, yeah, what is the point of lobbing missiles at each other than the fact that it kills innocent people? Okay, the problem is the Iranian government because they want to destroy Israel, and Israel doesn't want to be destroyed. I'm quite sure that the Iranian people don't want to see Israel destroyed, and the Israelis, they don't want to see Iranians destroyed. But the Iranian government is ran by lunatics. So the Iranian people need to have an election and remove these lunatics from office. We had a lunatic in office for 4 years. His name was President Biden. He didn't even know what day it was. But we don't start lobbing missiles at each other. We have an election, right? Chris and Emil is saying hi to Reese, to Christopher. Then Monday is biometrics. Then July 1st is the interview, right before Independence Day. July 7th is what? That's it, right? Just July 1st, is your biometrics, right? And then July 1st is the interview. Very good. So it's right before Independence Day. Francois says, good luck, Christopher Reese, and your fiancé. Absolutely. And Christopher says, yes, indeed. Well, we're going to give Christopher a Mountain Dew salute for the July 1st interview. Okay? Mountain Dew salute. And I'm in my office here of extraterrestrials. I've only made 3 movies on my video channel, the J-Rod Files, right here. So now right here, if you can see it, that's my other YouTube channel. But I only have 3 movies, and it's all about aliens and stuff. So we're getting there. But that's all right. We're talking about K1 visas Christopher Reese, thank you, Francois. Now, the K1 visa process, okay, is still the same as it was. It's still the same as it was. President Trump isn't trying to block you from getting a K1, okay? He's not trying to stop you from getting a spousal visa, or your green card once you get to the United States. But here's the deal. When you get here, you got to be a good guest, right? When I lived in Colombia for almost 3 years, I was a guest of the Colombian government. I didn't do anything. I didn't drive a car. I didn't want to drive a car in Colombia. It's crazy driving over there. But I was a good guest of Colombia. And I was invited back to Colombia by the government of Colombia. When you come to this country, be a guest. You have to be a good guest of the United States. Remember, your green card is not a guarantee that you can live and work in America if you get in trouble, break the law, or violate the laws of the United States. If you come here, get a green card, and get in trouble, don't be surprised if you get your green card removed from your hands and you get deported. But you guys are good. You're all good. You're not going to do that. The folks who watch this channel never get in trouble. You follow the rules. If you didn't follow the rules, you wouldn't be applying for the K1 or the green card, right? Let's see here. Christopher, been trying to get in here, but she wiped out, got off of work 5 a.m. Philippines time. If your beautiful bride to be in the Philippines is working hard and she's tired, let her rest. Let her rest up and enjoy, the remaining time that she has left in the Philippines. Christopher Reese, from submitting the I-129F to the interview, has been just shy of 10 months. It's getting pretty quick, right? It's not too bad. Less than a year. Not too bad. Driving a car in the Philippines, promise you can drive anywhere. I believe it. Now, I have my American Florida driver's license. I had an Italian driver's license. I had a British driver's license when I got to take the test and passed it. That was pretty tough, though. That was the hardest driver's test I ever took, was the British one. The Italian one, they just said, "You're American. Show me your Florida license. Here it is. Okay, here's your Italian driver's license." Well, thank you very much. Because I lived in Sicily, Italy for 3 years, and I lived in Sardinia for 3 years when I was in the military, in the Navy. Now, when I lived in Sardinia, I didn't need a driver's license, an Italian driver's license, because I left my car in the United States. I didn't even ship it. I sold it. I had a Chevrolet Beretta, and I sold it to my neighbor, and I said, "I'm getting deployed overseas to Sardinia," and I gave the car away, basically. And I moved to Sardinia, and I lived there for 3 years, and I didn't work. I didn't drive at all. I didn't have to pay car insurance. I didn't have to renew a driver's tag. It was fantastic. But in Sicily, I had to have my truck, and I had an Isuzu Rodeo. And the problem I had with the Isuzu Rodeo is that the wheel nuts wouldn't come off to do rotate tires. The Italians didn't have a wrench that would fit it. So for 3 years, I couldn't rotate my tires. Christopher Reese, around the province, cakewalk, go to Manila, about had a nervous breakdown. So she had to take over driving. There's no way I will drive in the Philippines. There's no way I would drive in Colombia, because I was in Bogota, Colombia. I lived there for almost 3 years with Karina. We had so much evidence in our K1 visa. I mean, it was like guaranteed, pretty much. If you're in a real relationship with somebody and you can prove it and you have evidence of a long-term relationship, you're going to get your K1 visa approved and you're going to get your green card. But if you can't prove it and if you don't qualify for the benefit, then you won't. Okay. Now, there's some countries that President Trump put on a block list, and some of those countries we haven't yet had a K1 visa denied from one of those countries: Afghanistan, Haiti, Syria. I haven't seen a K1 visa get denied yet from those countries. So let's hope that those families can get reunited. Let me see. Christopher Reese. I had a rodeo when I was young, MM3. Now, to folks who don't know what an MM3 is, that's a third-class petty officer machinist mate in the U.S. Navy. And you put a snorkel kit on it. Why in the heck did you put a snorkel kit on an Isuzu Rodeo? You going snorkeling? Where were you stationed at? Weren't you on submarines? Weren't you on FBM submarines? Why would you want to put a snorkel kit on your freaking Now, I had the Isuzu Rodeo in Sicily, Italy. I had it shipped from, where was I? I was in Panama City, Florida, and then I went to Sicily, Italy, and I shipped my Isuzu Rodeo to Sicily. It only took 2 weeks, and I picked it up at the port, and then I had to get Italian AFI tags on it, Armed Forces tags, and my Italian driver's license, and I'm driving around Sicily in the Isuzu Rodeo. And when it came time to rotate the tires after 18 months, I couldn't find one Italian mechanic that could do that because the bolts on the tires were different size. So anyway, I kept the Isuzu Rodeo for a long time. I can't remember what I did with it. I don't know if I traded it in. I can't remember. I can't remember what happened to it. But anyway, that was years ago. I'm surprised I remember that. Now, K1 visas are getting processed pretty quick. Spousal visas not so fast, okay? The spousal visa processing time is a lot slower. So people are getting frustrated over if you're on a spousal visa. So a spousal visa is basically you fill out the I-130. You're married to a foreign national and you want to bring it to the United States. You got to file an I-130, and then you got to upload documents to the National Visa Center, get documentally qualified. It's a pain in the you-know-what going through a spousal visa. And it takes like 15, 16 months. K1 visas, they're getting knocked out in 12 months, 13 months. Christopher Reese, engineering. This was in Georgia. So you were stationed at Kings Bay, at the submarine base in Kings Bay, Georgia, right? Am I right? Had to increase the value so I could sell it before patrol. So you were going on a submarine patrol and you had to sell it, and you wanted to jack up its value. But in Georgia, you could probably do that. I mean, there's a lot of swamps out in Georgia where you were stationed. I'm thinking it was Kings Bay. If you were in Georgia, that's the only place I know of where there's a submarine base. I was right. You said you were right. Well, I don't ever try to be wrong on this channel. I just want to help you get your K1 visas and your green cards. That's what I want to do. Now, today, I had a dump truck load of wood and stuff show up at the house because tomorrow I'm going to start building a deck for Karina. I want to build a deck so she can sit out in the backyard, watch the squirrels, and eat her popcorn and relax. She works hard. So I will start building a deck outside for her tomorrow. But I got to do it early in the morning because it's too freaking hot to do it in the daytime. I mean, it's hot. I'm not going to be able to work in such hot weather. So I'll work from 6 in the morning to about 10 a.m. Then I'm going to have to wrap it up. Christopher Reese, I want this too. Maru is a member. We got old members showing up today, which is great. Good evening, Diego. How are you doing? I'm good. And Karina's doing good also. She's in her English class. I drove her to her English class at the college, and she's doing pretty good. She spoke to me this morning in English. I was like surprised. I'm like, wow, okay, that's cool. And she knew what she was saying. Christopher Reese, make sure you're drinking a lot of water. Oh, yeah. I'm going to do 4 hours in the morning, and then I'm going to stop, okay? But so tomorrow I'm going to put the base in. Building a deck isn't hard. Some of my people out there, friends, they said they spent $6,000 to pay someone to install a deck. I'm like, okay. Are you the same person that spent $6,000 to hire an immigration attorney to bring your beneficiary over here? I mean, seriously? You don't need to be spending that kind of money. Now, I was a real estate agent in the past. I was a realtor, then a real estate agent. You don't need you don't need a real estate agent to buy a house. You're paying big commission checks to somebody to sell your house or to buy your house. Actually, the new rules from the realtor world is the buyer has to pay the commission up front. When they buy a house from, they have to pay the realtor the commission. It used to be the seller, now it's the buyer. Okay, but you don't need a real estate agent to buy a house. Maru, yell Karina hello. Tell Karina hello. Karina, I will do that. She's at work. She's at work. She's in class. She was at work all day. She worked all day. She came home. She was in the house for 30 minutes. Now she's in her 4.5-hour English class. But that's for June. In June, she's in English class 4 times a week, 4 days a week. Okay? Very important, because she wants to advance in the United States. She wants to become an American. I don't blame her. She will become an American, but she needs to learn English. And I told her in 5 years from now, English will be your first language and Spanish will be your second language. And she said that's what she wants. I'll drink plenty of water, Christopher Reese. And Christopher, so after they get here, this is when I do the 864. There's more, Christopher, when you get your wife, when you get your beneficiary to America, you get married, there's more than the 864. You have to, you fill out the 864. Your new wife and her and you will fill out the 485. You get a brand new medical exam. You got to redo the medical exam. If you don't redo the medical exam, you're going to get a freaking denial. Okay? Things have changed. I tried to explain it to some person a couple of weeks ago. If you don't repeat the medical exam, you're going to get a denial. They got a denial. Now they're crying a big river. Yeah, Christopher, you said you bought your own house. You don't need a real estate agent to buy a house. Here's my advice to you guys. Okay? Here's my advice. If you get in the market to buy a house, go into Zillow.com and go and look for sale by owner, FSBO. For sale by owner. Find a house that somebody is selling themselves without a realtor. Okay? Because now in today's real estate market, it's the person buying the house that's now paying the commissions fees. So let's take Francois, for example. Francois is in upstate New York. Let's suppose she decides she wants to relocate to like North Carolina. She would have to pay a realtor when she finds the house she wants. She would have to pay a realtor commission, 3%, 4%, 5%, 6%, who knows? But what I would do if I was Francois is I would look online for sale by owner in the Zillow website and find a beautiful house that's being sold by a private party, make contact, and then have the paperwork done by a title company, which will cost you maybe $500 instead of paying a commission of $20,000, $30,000. Anyway, that's my real estate story. I will tell Karina hello, Maru, I promise you. Francois, may I ask, what's the English course title that Karina is taking? English. She's in English. I don't know what the title is. It's English. I mean, she does it on her laptop. On the weekends, she's on her laptop studying. There's some kind of software that the college has uploaded in, and she logs in there, and and then she sometimes asks me to help her with some stuff because she doesn't understand it. I don't blame her. But she's getting there. But I don't know what the name of the class is. I'll find out. I'll let you know on the next live stream, Francois. Jay Baxter, good evening to the Ross family. Jay Baxter, welcome to the live stream. Now you're a member too. We're glad to see the members on the channel here. Jay Baxter, we have our I-485 interview. You have your green card interview for July 18th. Well, July 18th gets Mega Pixie to us, number one. And number two, you're going to get a Mountain Dew salute for making it this far in the process. Good job, Jay Baxter. Excellent. Now, I got another camera over here, which is a Facecam Pro, which is installed into a teleprompter. Next live stream, I might just switch from this camera to this camera and see if it works out. And you can and then you tell me if it's any better quality. This is an expensive camera over here and a teleprompter, which I paid for to run to get this other YouTube channel started, the J-Rod Files. Right here. I made 3 videos for it already. Let me see. Christopher, I guess I better download the form so I can practice. I recommend, folks, that you do that. Okay, when you get to the United States or you get your beneficiaries close, download the forms that you have to submit for the green card and practice filling them out. So you become overly familiar with the process on how to fill out the forms. They're not hard. Most people have problems with the 864, which is the affidavit of support. That's where immigration sends back the most RFEs on, because people can't figure out the family size and they can't calculate it because it's so freaking confusing. Okay, but you folks who are members of the channel, which is all of you right here, you can text me anytime you want if you need help with an 864 or whatever form you need. You can just scan scan it, whatever you call it, and send it to me, and I'll go over it for you. Jay Baxter, we have our green card interview scheduled July 18th. That's great news, okay? Christopher Reese, yeah, I remember you telling us about the medical exam. You got to repeat the medical exam, okay? I don't know who it was. It was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Somebody was on the live stream telling me, I don't need a medical exam. My medical exam's good. I don't need to repeat my medical exam. I said, yes, you do. Well, I'm in America. I don't need to do it. I had done it in the Philippines. Okay. But that medical exam no longer is non-existent. You got to get a brand new medical exam in the United States of America. No, I don't. USCIS says I don't have to do that. Ah, okay. So why are you on this channel wasting my time and listening to my words of wisdom? If you're going to ignore my words of wisdom, and if you don't repeat your medical exam, you're not going to get your freaking green card. I don't care what it says on the USCIS website, because they're always a year behind on updating their paperwork anyway. So the person, I just basically booted him off the channel. I got sick of going around in circles. You know, the person was just going around and around in circles telling me how they don't have to repeat their medical exam. And so I said, okay, don't repeat it. And then pack your bags and go back to the Philippines, because you're not going to get your green card. And I kicked him off the channel. I don't have time for it. I'm trying to help people that listen to me. Y'all listen to me. Let me see. I don't want to miss anybody. Karina usually guides me through here. Maru, I am almost done with my K1 visa package. Okay. Please expect an email from me soon, so you may help review it for me. Absolutely. Maru, you're a member of this channel. I will go over the entire K1 visa application with you to make sure you don't make any mistakes. Okay, as a member of this channel, that's your benefit that you get. You get my phone number and email. I wish I could put it out here for free, but I can't, because I got to protect the channel, okay? So, which protects you guys. Let's see. I don't want to miss anybody. Christopher Reese, you think the housing bubble ever going to burst? We're in a free market economy, okay, that Joe Biden basically destroyed when he let 11, 12, 15 million illegal immigrants come into our country without freaking vetting. Those folks need a place to live, right? When you let 11 to 15 million people into this country, where are they going to live? So what happens? There's a shortage in the supply of houses. So what does that do? It drives up the price. So the price of homes went ballistic. It went into the freaking clouds because there was a massive influx of people looking for homes. Okay. So now we are deporting those illegal immigrants. They are being removed by Homeland Security, and they're doing a great job. Homeland Security is doing a fantastic job in removing these illegal immigrants. And houses are becoming more available to freaking Americans, especially in California and New York. I don't think California is ever going to see a housing market drop in price, because California is ran by communists. California loves seeing the price of a double wide trailer at $1 million, because then the government control the people. The communist governments love to be able to control you, the people. In a free market capitalist economy like we are actually in, you control your destiny in this country, not the government. You are a free person, and if you work hard, and if you get a good education, if you're not lazy, you're going to advance in the United States and become a millionaire one day. And the Democrat communists, they can't stand that. People like AOC, You know, Nancy Pelosi. Look at San Francisco. Nancy Pelosi's district, Congresswoman Pelosi. San Francisco is a dumpster fire. It's a dumpster fire. Companies are closing and leaving. But that's the intent of a communist regime, okay? To basically make Americans dependent on the government, just like they're in communist China, and in Vietnam, communist Vietnam, and communist North Korea, and communist Cuba. Communism's in Venezuela. Communists want to control you. In a free market economy, the government's got to get the hell out of the way and let you make your money and become millionaires. And the government just has to put in some regulations in there to make sure there's no, shenanigans going on. But anyway, let me see. Chris and Emil, is it best to find a house in foreclosure? No, it's best to find a house that somebody is selling themselves privately on, say, like Zillow.com in a for sale by owner. So if you come to the United States as a beneficiary from, I don't know what country, doesn't matter what country, you're married to an American citizen and you get in the market for a house, don't pay a real estate agent 20, 30 grand for a freaking 20-minute paperwork job. Just like you're not going to pay an immigration attorney 5 or 6 grand to fill out an I-129F or a 485 or an 864. Just don't do it. When you become to the United States, okay, go into Zillow.com. It's the best place, I think, in my opinion, and look for for sale by owner. And then you're not going to pay a realtor. You're going to be doing business with the person selling the freaking house. If I ever decided to sell this house here in Florida, I wouldn't list it with a realtor. Well, number one, I was a real estate agent myself, but I would sell it myself. I would go into Zillow.com and market the property. And then a buyer, if they come to me, okay, and they say, I'm interested in buying your house or our house, Karina and Diego, I say, okay. And then I would have a title company do the paperwork. I could do it myself, but I'm going to have a title company do it. And it will probably cost me $900 to sell this house, not 30, 40, 50 grand to pay a realtor. Okay. Hello, Destiny's Room. Glad you're here. Where have you been? From Francois, Destiny's Room. Hi, Diego. Wednesday is our green card interview. We're going to put mega pixie dust on Destiny's Room and a Mountain Dew salute. Very good, Destiny's Room. Very good. Excellent. Destiny's Room. We are in trouble. My husband said we didn't need to do a new medical exam. Yes, you do. We never scheduled one. So too bad for us, I guess. Well, Destiny's Room, you should have got a letter for your green card appointment. You said on Wednesday is our green card interview. Now, how do you know that you have a green card interview on Wednesday? You got a letter in the mail, right? You got a letter in the mail. What did it say in the letter that you got for your green card interview? You need to bring what forms with you? USCIS Form 693, right? Was included in that letter. You need to bring your medical exam to the green card interview. Did you not read that in the letter? Maru, thank you, Christopher Reese. Destiny's Room. Hi, Francois. I'm okay, but just suddenly very worried after months of peace. I hope you're well. We will see what happens on Wednesday. Okay, what day is it today? Today is what, Monday? You got tomorrow to go get you can go get a medical exam and get it done tomorrow and say you need it by Wednesday and get a brand new 693 and bring it to your green card interview. But my question to Destiny's Room is, when you got a letter from immigration scheduling your green card interview, did it not say in that letter you got to have to bring with you USCIS Form 693? I don't know. I mean, I didn't read your letter, but I'm sure it was in there somewhere. Christopher Reese just looked up the 864. So many various versions of this. Which do I need? You go into USCIS.gov/forms, and then you look up 864. There's only one affidavit of support, not 864A, 864. Francois Livingston, Destiny's Room, you got this. Our green card interview is July 22nd. Right, Francois, but Francois, here's the thing. You submitted a brand new medical exam for Hamid, right? When you got your green card interview for July 22nd. So we're putting mega pixie dust over Francois and Hamid's green card interview, and a Mountain Dew salute to Francois because she paid attention to class for the last 3 years, right? And when I said to Francois in a live stream, you have to repeat the medical exam for Hamid, what did you do? You scheduled a medical exam for Hamid in upstate New York. The doctor signed the 693, recertified Hamid's vaccinations, put them in a sealed envelope, and gave them to you. And you included that in Hamid's 2-year green card application, right, Francois? Yes, Diego. So what does that mean? You're not going to have it. You didn't get an RFE. You didn't get a rejection. You didn't get a denial. You got a green card interview for Hamid on July 22nd. Destiny's Room. Okay, that's so good to hear. I will pray for both of us. You will get it. Yeah. Hamid's going to get his green card. And Destiny's Room. If I was you, if you had listened to me over the last 6 months, you would have known that you needed to repeat the medical exam in the United States. That's why I do this freaking live stream. Not for me. I don't do it for me. I do it for you guys. I already know how to do this. I mean, I want to help you. And it was Karina's idea. I put the channel together. You know, I don't even look at how many subscribers I have, probably over 3,000 subscribers. And I don't even ask people to subscribe to the channel, but I've got over 3,000 subscribers. I never ask anyone to subscribe. What's the point in doing that? It's for you guys. If you subscribe, you can ask me questions. I know how to do it already, but I want to help you get your green card, guys, and your K1 visas approved. Jay Baxter, Francois, you got your interview scheduled. I guess they are speeding up the interview. So Jay Baxter, why are green card interviews getting speeded up? Why are K1 visas getting processed quicker? Because USCIS is no longer having to freaking process paperwork for all these illegal immigrants crying for their bogus asylums in the United. I mean, there's people from Colombia crying for asylum in Texas. Colombia is a country that is not destitute. It's not third world. It is a free market capitalist republic. And Colombia and the United States basically run on the same ideology of freedom, free market capitalism. And the country is fantastic. You should see some of the countryside and some of the stuff I could never believe I saw when I was in Colombia. So when the Colombian comes to America and says, I want freaking asylum, Biden was letting him in. Trump is saying, are you serious? Why do you need asylum? Well, life is difficult in Medellin. Really? It's 75 degrees all year round. There's jobs everywhere. There's more jobs in Medellin than there are in New York City. So why are you claiming asylum? Well, I'm afraid for something. What are you afraid of? It's all bogus. So they're getting put on planes and sent back to Colombia. And they need to make Colombia great again, right? Colombia is a beautiful country. Why would anybody? If I was a Colombian, I would have no problem living in Colombia. Seriously. Okay. And I lived there for 3 years. I mean, I could have had the opportunity to live there permanently, but I'm American. I live in America. All right. This is my country, and I have no interest in living anywhere else other than the United States. You know, but I get so irritated when all these people come to this country crying for freaking asylum when their own country is probably, I don't even think Colombia has a national debt like we have in America. The Colombian economy is probably stronger than the US economy in regards to national debt. So Trump is sending them packing back home. Let's see here. Francois, we were surprised too, Jay Baxter, to have the interview so soon after submitting the green card application. Immigration don't have to focus their attention on all these millions of bogus immigration claims. Now they can focus on you guys who are legitimate immigration claims, spousal visas, K-1 visas. You guys are legitimate. You got a reason to come here. You want to get married and start your lives together with your foreign national. I tell you, you guys are doing it the legal way, and all these freaking illegals were clogging up the system like a septic tank. And Trump was the plumber, and he unplugged it and cleaned it out. That's what happened. So now the folks who are coming here legally without all this BS, asylum BS, now the immigration officers have time to focus on you guys. Things are speeding up, right? Let me see. Jay Baxter saying we thought we had more than a month to prepare. Haha, yeah. Christopher Reese, 864 didn't look too bad, but mercy, that 485 is enormous. Yeah. The 485 is the application for your new wife to apply for her green card. The 485 is you can help her fill it out. Okay, I helped Karina fill out her 485, but we had a translator, an official translator, who actually helped her because I wanted to pull myself out of that process and not be included in it, so there was no it wasn't misconstrued or anything. But the 485 is filled out by the beneficiary. The 864 is filled out by the sponsor. The 693 is filled out by the doctor, the civil surgeon. And then you've got to include in your green card application your I-94, your marriage certificate, your copies of your birth certificates, your biographic pages of your passports in color, blown up nice and big so immigration can see it, etc. Karina, my beautiful wife from Venezuela, she got her 2-year green card in just over 3 months when she got to America. We submitted a green card application that was so fantastic with 0 errors. She got her green card in just over 3 months. Okay. You can do the same thing. As far as green card interviews, they're mandatory pretty much now for everybody. But, don't worry about it. If you go to a green card interview, so what? So what? I'm not worried about when Karina applies for her 10-year green card next year in March of 2026. Okay, we don't care if we go to a green card interview. Who cares? We'd have been together almost 6 years. I mean, it's just another freaking thing we got to do. We'd have to drive to Alabama. So we get a road trip to Alabama. I'm planning a trip. I took Karina to Nevada. I took her to Vegas. I took her to Arizona. I took her to the Grand Canyon. And she had a fantastic time. She loved the Grand Canyon. To me, it was just a big freaking hole in the ground. Oh, yeah, there's a Grand Canyon. There's a big hole in the ground. Okay, let's go. But Karina was like, wow, check it out. I'm more interested in the extraterrestrials in Nevada. I want to go see Area 51. But I decided not to go there because Karina's on her 2-year green card, and I wasn't going to get her anywhere near Area 51 on a 2-year green card. So we went to the Grand Canyon. I took her to Pahrump too, Pahrump, Nevada. And we went to Art Bell's grave and paid respects to Art Bell. He was the radio host from Coast to Coast. And I used to do radio years ago. I was on the radio years ago as a conservative talk show host years ago. And I'm into that kind of stuff, late night radio. Francois Livingston, you're absolutely right, Diego. Followed your instructions to the T. Well, that's a Mountain Dew salute for Francois right there, because you're always top of the class, Francois. With as much stuff that we had to go through with your green card application and your K-1 visa, Francois, you listened to me and you got everything approved. Destiny's Room. Sorry, Diego, I stepped away. The letter said, if applicable, bring the medical exam. Well, did you include a medical exam in the 2-year green card application when you applied for your 2-year green card? Your husband's 2-year green card. Did you include a medical exam in there? Which I've been telling people to do for the last, year? at least a year, I've been telling folks, repeat the medical exam. You got to do it. So it says if applicable. Well, if you included a brand new medical exam in the green card application, then it's not applicable to you because you already submitted it. But if you didn't submit a medical exam with your green card application, then it is applicable. That's why they put it in parentheses, if applicable. So you got to bring the medical exam in your envelope. There's a good chance they're going to ask you what for your medical exam. They're probably going to ask you for it because it just went into law. So we'll see what happens. But if I was you, Destiny's Room, tomorrow I would be finding a civil surgeon, explain the situation, and get it done tomorrow. So you have it for Wednesday. And then you're covered. So Destiny's Room, I got faith in you, okay? I believe you can tomorrow. I believe tomorrow you can find a civil surgeon where you live in your town, your city, and say you have an emergency, you need to have a medical exam for a green card, and interviews tomorrow on Wednesday. And I'm pretty sure the civil surgeon will help you. You're going to have to pay for this thing too, by the way. Okay, you can't put it on insurance. The green card medical exam cannot be billed to an insurance company. You have to pay for it out of your own pocket. Okay? But I have confidence that Destiny's Room tomorrow, you can get a medical exam done in a hurry, have the doc sign off on it, and you'll be good to go for the Wednesday green card interview. Christopher Reese, do I have to do a 485 for both K1 and K2, or just for the one for the 485 for the K1? Christopher Reese, when you bring two people to the United States of America, you're going to be applying for two green cards, one for your wife and one for any of her children. In your case, it's one child, right? So you're going to fill out a green card application for your wife. You're going to fill out a green card application for your K2 child, stepson or stepdaughter. Okay? So the question Christopher says to me is, do I have to do a 485 for both K1 and K2? Yes. You got to fill out the 485 for the K1. You got to fill out the 485 for the K2. You got to fill out the 864 for the K1. You got to fill out the 864 for the K2. You got to get the I-94 for the K1. You got to get the I-94 for the K2. You got to get the birth certificate for the K1, the birth certificate for the K2. You got to have a medical exam for the K1, a medical exam for the K2. So 2 693s. You got to pay for two medical exams. You are applying for when you bring a K2 into the United States of America and you get married on a K1 visa, you have to apply for a green card for each person. $1,440 for the K1. Depending on how old the child is, it's going to be, if the child is under, I think, 14, it's a less expensive. But you understand, Christopher, he's 4 years old. Okay, so you're going to pay, so you're going to fill out a green card application for your 4-year-old stepson. You're going to fill out an 864 for him, and a 485. You're going to get him a medical exam done on a 693. You're going to recertify his vaccinations. You're going to get a copy of his I-94, which will be on the Border Patrol website. When your stepson entered the United States at 4 years old, the I-94 was generated for him as entry into America. Okay? You're going to print the I-94 for your 4-year-old. You're going to get a copy of his birth certificate, his K2 visa, blown up in color, his biographic page of his passport, blown up in color, pictures of your 4-year-old in the K2 application. Okay? When you bring a K2 to America and you get married under a K1 application, you have to fill out a green card application for the K2 also. You understand, right, Christopher Reese? You got it, right? Christopher Reese, congratulations. Ruben Torres. Hi, Diego. My wife received the green card and the Social Security card today. Well, Mountain Dew salute, Ruben Torres. Now we have to wait for the citizenship. Thank you very much for your help and support. You are doing a great job. Well, I do this because I want to see families get reunited with each other. I know what it was like to be separated from Karina. I was in Florida for a year. She was in Colombia, Bogota for a year. I hated being separated from her. We talked every day on WhatsApp, whatever you call it. WhatsApp. You're on the phone, blah, 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 talking all freaking night. Then I'm printing some of the screenshotting some of the conversations, putting them in an album from Office Depot. I had an album of WhatsApp chats like this. I went nuclear on my K1 visa application. Okay, it was like the Library of Congress. That's how much stuff I submitted. Like Francois Livingston, she submitted like 42 pounds of stuff for Hamid on his 2-year green card application. So I appreciate the kind remarks there. Ruben Torres, thank you. And Christopher Reese is congratulating Ruben. Jay Baxter, luckily the place they are going to have a green card interview is in the same place we did our biometrics in Oklahoma City, and it didn't seem too busy at all. You know why doesn't seem too busy anymore at these immigration places around the United States? It's because all these freaking illegal immigrants are being rounded up, put in detention, and their asses are being sent back home. If you want to come to this country, we want you to come here if you have something to offer the United States, but you got to come here legally. You got to be illegal. You got to come here. You got to get a medical exam. You got to go in front of an immigration officer and do an interview. You got to get a police check done on you. But Biden didn't give a rat's about all the processing put in place by the Congress. Biden should have been impeached for that. But the Congress is as weak as the Biden was. They didn't do nothing either. See, the Republicans and Democrats are about useless. They're useless. They're a waste of taxpayer money. They're not doing anything. So Trump is in office now. He's trying to get stuff done, but it's just as hard for him to get stuff done when the Congress controls a lot of things. We got a worthless Congress, but we got a good president. And I'm not a Republican, by the way. I'm an independent, conservative. So Christopher Reese, my guess, I'm submitting 2 of everything after they get here. Your guess is correct, but you don't want to guess in an immigration process. You have to know. You cannot guess nothing in immigration. When you're filling out a form, I-129F, and you say, oh, I don't quite know what the answer is. I'm just going to guess what it is. And then you get a denial because you guessed. If you're in the middle of a K1 visa application and you don't know what to do, contact me and I will make sure you don't make a freaking mistake. Let me see. Mr. Najas. Hey, Mr. Najas. Good evening, Diego. How's it going? It's going good here. It's nice and warm here in Florida. There's no hurricanes. I'm going to be start building a deck tomorrow for the family, for Karina. We're having a great time doing stuff together. We're planning another vacation. I wanted to take her to New York City, but I'm still waiting on New York City to clear out all of the illegal immigrants from all the hotels and give the hotels time to refurbish their rooms and stuff. So, but what's going to happen when all the illegals get kicked out of New York City? It's the price of hotels. The price of a hotel is going to come down. When half the hotels in New York City were filled with illegal immigrants, that's just a guess. I don't know if it was half, but the price of a freaking hotel was triple because there was not enough hotel rooms for tourists because they're being filled with freaking illegal immigrants getting their free stuff. But that's not how our immigration process is supposed to work. Can you imagine if 20 million Americans decided that they wanted to go live in Colombia? The Colombian government wouldn't put up with that. They would block it. Deal. Hey, Diego, I hope you're doing good. Always. My question is, should we file taxes married jointly in the future? She will not have social security number. I heard that for that, we have to send it manually, like send it to the IRS. Deal. I'm not fully understand. I don't really fully understand your question. When Karina, my beautiful wife from Venezuela, got to America, the first thing I did was get her a social security number. I couldn't file taxes as jointly in 2020, in 2024 for 2023 because we got married in 2024. So I was single in 2023. The whole year of 2023, I was single. So we got married in January of 2024. I couldn't file a joint tax return. But in 2025, for 2024 taxes, we filed jointly because Karina had her social security number and we've been living together under this same roof for 12 months. So we filed a joint tax return. Your question is, should we file taxes married filing jointly? If your wife has a social security number, yeah, you have to. When you go for the 10-year green card, and the first thing they want to see is your tax returns for the past 2 to 3 years. And it better be married filing jointly. In the future, she will not have a social security number. Why not? Why doesn't she have a social security number? Why doesn't she have a social security number? Explain that to me. Every single immigrant into the United States of America that comes here legally gets a social security number. Let me see. Everybody has a social security number. There's no reason why your wife doesn't have a social security number unless you didn't apply for it. Naya, hi Diego. It's now 63 days since I did my biometrics. No update. Is it okay? Perfectly fine. Relax. Be patient. If there was a problem, immigration would have sent you a letter telling you there's a problem, but they haven't, so there isn't. So you're in the waiting game. Christopher Reese, no worries. Thank you for explaining. He is 4 years old. Okay. Yes, Diego, I get it. Thank you for explaining. I will have more questions. Got to go through the interview and get them here. Yeah, Christopher Reese, that's why I'm here. I can do a 2-year green card paperwork in my sleep. I can fill out a K-1 visa application in my sleep. Okay. I've got 11 years experience doing this, almost 12 years. But I'm not an immigration attorney and I don't give you legal advice, okay? Make sure you understand that. And I don't work for USCIS. But maybe I should work for USCIS because I probably know more about this process than some of those people do. I got almost 12 years doing this, I've helped so many people I've helped people from probably 30, 40 countries get their green cards, get their K-1 visas. I helped a gentleman get out of a country that was during the wartime in Africa, into another country in Africa, into a K-1 visa, into the United States, and I got him out of this country, into this country, into the United States without a passport. He didn't know how to do it, but I know how to do it. And I explained to him what he had to do. And he did exactly what I said, and now he's married and living, I believe is in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Got him out of he was a legitimate person under a K-1 and an asylum seeker. So he was basically under 2 umbrellas. So under the umbrella of asylum, I got him to the United States without a passport. And under the umbrella of K-1, he was able to marry his beautiful wife. I got it done for him. And, he said, I can't repay you. I said, I don't want you to repay me. I just want you to be with your family, reunited with your family, which he is. You're in this country legally. You got your 2-year green card. You got to be concentrating on your 10-year green card and becoming a U.S. citizen. The purpose of the immigration that we have in place right now is that they want you to come to America and assimilate and become Americans. They don't want you to come to America, get your 2-year green card and use it as a tourist visa to bounce back and forth between your former country that you used to live in. That's not what it's for. The green card is for you to live and work permanently in the United States, not jump on a plane every freaking 3 months to fly back to wherever it is you started from. The U.S. government wants you to become a citizen of this country, become Americanized. Karina, my beautiful wife from Venezuela, she no longer wears her Venezuelan. I got this Puerto Rico hat on from her friend, but she no longer wears her Venezuelan flag, a hat. She no longer wears her Venezuelan, her clothes with Venezuela on it. She wears her, I'm American. She's wants to become an American. Besides being married to me, what is the reason for her being here? She wanted to be with me primarily, obviously, but she also wants to become American. Over here, I got a Venezuelan flag. I used to have a Venezuelan flag hanging up on the wall over here. She told me to take him down. She said, I don't need the Venezuelan flag flying in a YouTube live stream. I'm trying to become American. And I said, you're right. So I took him down. So I turned this office into my UFO extraterrestrial J-Rod Files YouTube channel office. Plus, I do the channel for you guys on the live stream and make videos for immigration and stuff like that. But Karina is becoming Americanized. Okay, she's not focused on what the heck happened in Caracas, Venezuela yesterday. She's looking at what happened in Miami, Florida yesterday. What's going on with Trump? Is he okay? What's going on with our U.S. government, our Congress? She's learning about the history of our country. Okay, she was really surprised when she said what? She said Independence Day in America is on July 4th, right? Yes. She said Independence Day in Colombia, or no, in Venezuela, I believe, is on July 5th. I think that's what she told me. And she was comparing how Venezuela became free from the Spanish Inquisition, and how the United States became free from the British tyranny from 200 years ago. And she was trying to figure out the difference, but the only difference is that the Spanish were trying to control South America and Central America, and the British were trying to control North America. Well, most of it, excluding Louisiana, which was the French, right? So Karina is becoming American. She's more concerned about what's going on in Tallahassee, or what happened down the street, or what's going on. Why is the interstate under construction so much? When you come to America, focus on becoming American. That's what the U.S. government really wants. Let me see here. Christopher Reese, when I said guess, it was a poor choice of words. No, don't guess, Christopher. If you don't know, just text me. If you don't know, you're a member of the channel. If you don't know a question, if you're not sure of something, you text me, and I'll give you the answer. Deal. So let me 3CL say I got married in November. You got married in November 2024, 2023. When did you get November 2024? You got married in November 2024, right? So you can file your taxes jointly with your wife, but she needs a social security number. Christopher Reese, when I said guess, no, you're good, Christopher. Christopher, that's right, Francois. They are the best. I just hate having them repeat themselves, but I guess if that's what it takes to, so be it. They are the best. Francois to Christopher, Diego will tell you this, but he doesn't mind because he wants to make it, you all to make it to the finish line. You got it. That's what I want. I want Karina and I both want to see you get across the finish line, get your freaking green cards. You're doing this the legal way. You went through all this unbelievable intrusion into your lives. How much money do you make? Where does your mom and dad live? What's their date of birth? Your parents? Do you have any children? How much money do you make? Where have you lived for the past 5 years? It's intrusion. Let me see your bank statements and your tax transcripts for the past 3 years. It's an intrusion. But you're doing it the right way. You're following congressional law. President Biden didn't do that. President Biden, but I'm not blaming him for the massive immigration problems we have in our country. I blamed the people who were controlling him, because he didn't even know what freaking day it was. Honestly, he really didn't know what day it was. He was not in a position to be president from his mental acuity. It's just my opinion. I'm not a doctor, but just by his actions. He should have been at home with his wife, relaxed and retired, enjoying freaking life, not being in the White House where somebody else was making decisions for him, like auto penning all those freaking letters. Unbelievable. The founding fathers of our country are rolling in their graves when President Biden was in office, not because of Biden, because he didn't know what was going on. It's the people running him, the communists who are controlling him. There's no way, in my opinion, that President Biden would, in his right mind, want to open up our borders to 11 to 20 million people unvetted and just let them come into our country. I don't believe Biden wanted to do that, but he didn't know what was going on because of his position that he was in mentally. Just my opinion. Let's see here. Francois, I mean, he wants all to get to the finish line. Yeah, I want you guys to get to the finish line. Julian ALO, hello, Diego. How are you? I'm good. Here I am. I followed all you said, and now I have my green card. Whoa, Julian, you paid attention to class. You listened to Diego. I am like the PhD of green cards and K1 visas, right? I should have an honorary degree in how to do this from a university, but not, I wouldn't want it from Harvard or, Columbia University. No way. I would not accept a freaking degree from Harvard or Columbia. But I know this process like the back of my hand, guys. You can ask me anything about this green card application and I will have the answer for you. So you don't have to call an immigration attorney and spend $400 for a 10-minute phone call. You can come on the live stream and ask me here and I give you the answer for free. Good job, Julian ALO. I knew you would get your green card if you just had to be patient during the process. And Francois congratulates Julian. Dill, I mean, once she will arrive here on her. Okay. Now you're telling me the story. Now you're filling me in, because I'm not Nostradamus. Okay. I mean, I probably could be on some days, but I'm not Nostradamus. Now you explain it to me what you want. I mean, once she arrives here on her K1 visa, we decided to get married in November of that year before filing for adjustment of status. So how can I file my taxes married filing jointly? So you got married in November of 2024, right? So you were married for November and December of 2024. You were married in 2024. So you can file a joint tax return in January, February, March, or April of 2025 because you were together married in 2024. I was single in 2023. I wanted to bring, 2023. I wanted to bring Karina to the United States sooner rather than later, but we had to go through a Interpol police certificate process, which was okay. We got no problem with that, but which means I couldn't get married to her in 2024. We got in 2023. Excuse me. We got married in January 2024. If Karina and I got married in 2023, I could have filed a joint tax return with her in 2024. I couldn't do it. I even called the IRS to check on it, and they said that I was correct, 100% right. So if you've been married since November and December of 2024, okay, you can file a joint tax return with your wife, Dill. But she has to have a social security number to do that. And it only takes a week to get it. Getting a social security number is easier than you would think, as long as you got the I-94 and the passport with the K1 in it. Christopher Reese, I get we don't want to be bouncing between countries, but after 2 years, would it be frowned upon to go to the Philippines to a marriage for her family? Not official, but it lets them see her get married. I would recommend if you want to go on a vacation to the Philippines, but don't do it until you have a 10-year green card. Get a 10-year green card, go to the Philippines for a 2-week vacation, and then come back home and do your thing, your marriage for the family. But don't go to the Philippines and stay longer than 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Because when you apply, if you do, you're going to get interrogated coming back into the United States. You got you into the Philippines for 3 months. Why did you stay for 3 months? Well, I just wanted to hang out with my friends. I miss my friends in Cebu. Okay. Well, you can't be doing that. The green card isn't a tourist visa. The green card is a document that says you can live and work in the United States legally. And if you need to travel, you can go on vacation. But here's the thing, Karina and I are not going to leave the United States of America, the great republic that we live in, the constitutional republic that we live in. We're not going to leave this country until she is a U.S. citizen and has a U.S. passport. That's us. You may want to travel. Okay, so you may want to go on a cruise. You got your 2-year green card. You may want to go on a cruise. Okay, 2-week, 5-day cruise. Okay, that's not going to be a red flag for immigration. But if you get your 2-year green card, then right away go back to your home country for 3 months. That's a problem with immigration. But you can, Christopher, you can go back to I would wait till you get your 10-year green card before you leave the country. And don't go any longer than 2 weeks. Julian, wait a second. Julian ALO. Yes, got it, Diego. You helped me to come over without a passport. Yeah, Julian, there he is. And I was a refugee in Uganda. See, Julian is the gentleman that I helped come to the United States without a passport. He was a refugee, a legitimate refugee, not one of these BS refugees trying to get a freaking green card from countries like Panama, Colombia. Seriously, Colombia is not a country that is a problem. Really, I lived in Bogota for almost 3 years. I felt like I was living in New York City. There's no real difference other than they spoke Spanish in New York and in Bogota. Well, they speak Spanish in New York City too. But Colombia is a fantastic country. I love it. I love Colombia. It's a beautiful country. And there's absolutely no reason why anybody from Colombia should be claiming asylum in the United States. And their asses are being returned back to the United States, back to Colombia. They're being sent home. And then Petro, the communist president of Colombia, got offended when Trump started returning Colombians back to their home country. And Petro said, "Oh, I'll send my private jet to go pick them up." Now, Petro, the president of Colombia, he's anti-fossil fuels. He's anti-oil. He wants to block drilling oil. He wants to quit drilling for gas. He wants to shut down fossil fuels in Colombia. He's anti-oil. I don't like oil. We need hamsters running in wheels, running circles in wheels to generate electricity for Colombians. And yet he sends his private jet that burns more CO2 in a minute to go pick up these illegal immigrants from Colombia. Hypocrisy at its greatest, right? Petro, Maduro, AOC. AOC, the congresswoman from Queens, New York, anti-fossil fuel, wants to shut down this and that in regards to oil production. Yet she's flying around first class. They're all hypocrites. Bernie Sanders, he's a communist from Vermont. He claims he's a socialist, but he's not. He's a freaking communist. He went down to Nicaragua when President Reagan was president and tried to undermine President Reagan's attempt to help the Contras get freedom and liberation from the communist dictator in Nicaragua, Daniel Ortega. Bernie Sanders was on the side of Daniel Ortega. That's our country, folks. That's our government. So Julian, we're glad you're in America, my friend. Christopher Reese. So has the process really changed over the years with the exception of a few revisions? No, the process hasn't changed. The only way you can change the process is for the Congress to write a new law about immigration. Now it's permissible to make revisions to forms and stuff and processes, but it hasn't changed. The only way to change the process is for Congress to write a different law. So when you get people like AOC from Queens, New York, Congresswoman from AOC, And she comes on TV and says, you know, she challenged the ICE director, Holman. And Holman said, Congresswoman, we're following your congressional law. We're following what you're telling us to do in regards to illegal immigrants. The Congress wrote the law, we're enforcing it. And AOC had to go put her tail between her legs and go hide under her desk because Holman was right. So she runs her mouth about how she doesn't like ICE or whatever. It's all communist propaganda. But she's in Congress. She's a member of Congress. And she didn't want to enforce the laws that Congress put in place regarding illegal immigration. I mean, we got people with IQ so low, it's unbelievable in the Congress. Julian ALO, thank you, Francois. Okay, thanks and sorry for the confusion. Dill, you're fine, but you just do a joint tax return. You got to do a filed joint tax return. Christopher Reese, 10-4 on the 10-year green card. Her family is so big, work won't allow me to take more than 2 weeks. Don't go any longer than 2 weeks on vacation. If you go longer than 2 weeks, it's a problem when you go for U.S. citizenship. When you apply for but you're going to have a 10-year green card. Okay, when she gets her 10-year green card, then go on a 2-week vacation to the Philippines. Then when you go for U.S. citizenship, they're going to ask you, have you left the United States? Yeah, I went to Philippines for 2 weeks. Keep the boarding passes of when you left America, when you came back to the United States from the Philippines, and bring them to the 10-year green card interview. Excuse me, to the U.S. citizenship interview, because she's already going to have her 10-year green card. When she has her 10-year green card, go on vacation. Okay? When you apply for citizenship, U.S. citizenship, keep those boarding passes to show when you left the United States and when you came back. And then print the I-94 and bring it with you to a U.S. citizenship interview. So when you get the question, have you ever left the United States? She says, yeah, we went to the Philippines for a 2-week vacation. Okay, prove it. Well, here's my boarding passes. Here's my I-94. You got it? Julian Elo, I went to the Social Security office to update my status for them to remove what they wrote on my Social Security card. And they looked and they said they will send to DHS and they will get back to me. Why? Well, they shouldn't have done that. You have a green card in your hand, right? You got your green card in your hand. You go to the Social Security office with your green card and you tell them to lift the conditions off of your status and make you a legal permanent resident. They wrote on my Social Security card with my green card, and they looked and they said they will send DHS and they will get back to me. Okay, so this Social Security office is wanting to confirm that your green card is real. Don't worry about it. They'll update your status. If you haven't heard back in a month, go back down to the Social Security office and say, where is my new Social Security card? Christopher Reese, a cruise. They will allow her on subs. No. You don't take her on a cruise on a fleet ballistic missile submarine, okay? Or a fast attack submarine. You know, she might end up, somewhere off the coast and start launching Tomahawk missiles somewhere. No, a cruise would be, I understand what you're saying. A cruise would be like out of Mobile, Alabama, out of Fort Lauderdale, go on a cruise out of Cape Canaveral, go to the Bahamas, etc. Chris and Emma, we will never see $1.65 a gallon for gas due to the high cost of living. The high cost of living was created when the Biden administration and the Congress of the United States were spending money that we don't have and were blocking oil production. When you block oil production, the price of oil goes up, the price of gas goes up, and the cost of delivering goods goes up, right? The cost of manufacturing lumber, building a house. The prices of houses went up because of all the illegal immigrants in our country. This is my opinion as a former real estate agent. When you flood a country with 20 million people who shouldn't be here, they got to have a place to live, right? You would think, right? So there became a housing shortage, especially in California and New York City and some other, like Chicago. Seattle, Washington. But President Trump is removing these people via Homeland Security. He's going to make America great again. Okay. I think those people that are here illegally should go back to their home countries and make their countries great again. That's my opinion. You know, Colombia, there's nothing wrong with Colombia. There's nothing wrong with that country at all. I lived there a long time. I'm like, wow, this place is great. I mean, it was like living in New York City, in Bogota. The people were friendly. The transportation was easy. The cost of living was low. I mean, I don't understand why somebody from Colombia would claim asylum with a Border Patrol officer in San Diego. It's a bunch of BS. And they won't make any money. Celia, hi Diego, how much time to get approved for I-751 for 10-year green card? So you're lifting the conditions. It takes about 2 to 4 years. Can we apply for the citizenship while the form I-751 is pending? Yes, you can. Celia, let me explain the process to you. This is how it works. You got a 2-year green card. 3 months before it expires, you lift the conditions off the 2-year green card for your 10-year green card using form I-751. The processing time for an I-751 is between 2 and 4 years. But the good news is immigration will extend the 2-year green card for 48 months. So your 2-year green card, even though it's expired, has been extended for 4 years, and you get a letter which you carry around with you with your 2-year green card, which says you are here pending adjudication for your 10-year green card. But you can become a U.S. citizen 36 months after you from the issue date on your 2-year green card. So let's suppose it's taking 4 years to get a 10-year green card, but during that period of time that you're waiting for your 10-year green card, you are now eligible for U.S. citizenship. So you fill out N-400, you can do it online, you apply for U.S. citizenship, and then they will adjudicate your 10-year green card and U.S. citizenship at the same time. And if you pass the citizenship part of it, you become a U.S. citizen, and that makes the 10-year green card irrelevant. You got it, Celia? Tell me you understand what I just said. You can do that. When Karina applies for her 10-year green card in March of 2026, it's going to be probably 2 to 4 years before she gets her 10-year green card approved. Okay. If her English skills are there, and we've got her in class right now, I got her at, what time is it? I got to go get her soon. She's in English class right now. If she's there with her English, we're going to put her in for U.S. citizenship in 2027. So it's irrelevant on her 10-year green card. Julian ALO, yeah, I remember. I came on a K-1 visa, and they wrote my Social Security working with DHS permission, right? That's normal. Everybody gets that. So did Karina. All right, I'll wait for at least a month, then I'll go back if they don't get back to me. Right, Julian, you've listened to me up to this point, right? You've paid attention to me, and I'm not going to steer you wrong. Chris Enamel, I wish the cost will go down soon. Prices will come down when the Congress quits spending money that we don't have, when we quit borrowing money from all these different countries, okay? When we stop, when we get the interest rates down on the national debt. Elon Musk, okay, did a fantastic job uncovering all the corruption and the fraud and the waste and abuse in our tax money system, in your treasury, whoever controls it. He found it. He found people collecting Social Security who were 300 years old, older than when our country was even born. Elon Musk, in my opinion, needs to be awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom when Trump's term ends. Without a doubt, Elon Musk needs the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And so does Marco Rubio, in my opinion, with his job as the Secretary of State. He needs to, and Trump needs to get the freaking Nobel Peace Prize. Because Trump doesn't want to fight anybody. He wants to trade with them. Trump doesn't want to bomb Iran. He wants to trade with them. Okay? Trump's a capitalist, entrepreneur. He's not a politician. He's not part of this military, global, whatever you want to call it. He wants to make America rich. Because when America gets rich, the boats all rise together, right? Anyway, guys, I've been talking for an hour and 19 minutes. I want to see you guys get your green cards. I want to see you get your K1 visas. We're here to support you. Corinne and I, we're here to help you. We're going to get you through this process. And if you want my phone number, if you want my cell number, sign up as a member and you will get it. If you don't need to call me or text me, then that's fine too. You can hang out with us on the live streams. Okay? So we'll see you. What's today? I don't even know what. It's Monday. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Karina will be in English class Wednesday. So Wednesday, I'll be back with another live stream. Thanks for hanging out. And if you want to watch my video on the J-Rod files, that's the name of the channel right there. If you're interested in UFOs, extraterrestrials, I made 3 good videos, and I'm going to make some more videos there. But right now, in my mind, I'm concentrating on helping you get you guys K1s and green cards approved. See you on Wednesday. Thanks for hanging out.